Couldn't be more excited to have one of NC State's finest, EMEKA EMEZIE, on the channel. First NC State football player. Been looking forward to this for a while. EMEKA, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Doing all right, bro. Doing all right. Yeah, it's been a couple years since EMEKA has laced it up for the Wolfpack, but I promise you, NC State fans did not forget one of NC State's best football players ever and our all-time receptions leader, for those of you that might not know. Today, I have the privilege of continuing the Inside and Out series with EMEKA, the first NC State player. So for those of you that have not seen the previous videos, basically it simulates as if you just met someone in public, and you kind of start with icebreaker questions, and then it goes on, you get a little bit deeper, and by the end of the episode, hence the name Inside and Out, you should know the person pretty dang well. Yeah. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start. You good to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. What's the go-to pregame meal when you played ball?
Oh, man. Go-to pregame meal. Probably get some spaghetti. Just really, really light. I always wanted to feel really light, so probably some spaghetti and a little bit of fruit.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. All right. It's a little spaghetti light?
Yeah, light. Just a little light spaghetti, light buttered noodles.
I like that. That's better than DK Metcalf. What does he say, Skittles or something?
Skittles. That's crazy.
Insane. All right. Maybe not the most shallow question, but what's something that even your mom doesn't know about yourself? Something embarrassing. It could be anything.
Yeah, I think how deep of a person I am at times. I'm really like serious about manifesting and visualizing everything. So I usually love to, with my close friends, get on a deep level with them about my just like life in general. I love that stuff.
Yeah, bro, that's the best. When you haven't seen your boys in a little bit.
Yeah.
And you just sit back and you just talk life.
Yeah, it's the best feeling.
Absolutely. All right, let's transition a little bit of football. What was your favorite game to be a part of at NC State?
I would say, I
got one in mind.
Yeah.
I'm curious if that's what it is.
People that do know, obviously, the Chapel Hill game is insane. The comeback and everything about those last 2 minutes and everything that happened after that was amazing. But I think for like a team aspect, I love the Clemson game and having 14 catches and having that like throughout the whole entire game, and the 3:30 game and it runs over into the nighttime, like that's the type of stuff as an athlete.
Storming the field after.
Storming the field, like it was so electric.
That's where I get involved.
Yeah, absolutely. Those two games.
Heck yeah. That was actually that was the first game in college that I was like, wow, this is nothing like high school football. I mean, there's tens of thousands of people there. Like, we just beat Clemson, like our older brother, basically. That was awesome.
Exactly.
I like that.
Exactly.
Who's the best defender you'd say that you ever faced in college?
That's always a good question because there's a lot of people on paper that are supposed to be the best, but it's no disrespect to them, but like they weren't as good as I thought they were going to be. Yeah. And maybe you get yourself up a little bit more for these games. I will say, though, he's on the Jets now, I think, Michael Carter II. He was giving me some trouble. Like, he was like the one person where I tried every move, and it was just like, here. And I made some plays on him, but he was very, very sticky.
I like that.
Yeah.
Dude, he's actually – so I'm big in, like, the advanced analytics for the NFL, and I'm a Dolphins fan. So the Jets have DJ Reed, Sauce Gardner, and Michael Carter, and like, they're all in, like, the top 10 for cornerbacks. So the fact that you're telling me that probably – the worst of the three was this good.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how sticky those corners are, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I like that. It's a little tough one for you, but Ryan Finley or Devin Leary?
Oh, I got to go Devin. Respectfully. I got to go Devin.
Respectfully. Yeah, I think I'd go Devin myself.
I think, like, from a play style, also I got to learn more about Devin because I saw him grow into, like, who he was. Yeah. Ryan transferred in, and he was older. I was younger, so it wasn't like we were best friends. So, and then I was also Devin's like #1 receiver, so it was a different relationship there as well.
No need to justify that.
Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense. What do you miss most about playing at NC State?
I think, man, the people I've met, everybody I've connected with, the fans, my teammates. There's nothing better than just being in the locker room with those guys, and I just love everybody that's ever came through NC State, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, dude, also the fans there, I feel like nobody talks about it because, like, we're not an SEC school.
Yeah.
Like, you're not a Big Ten school. But, bro, our fan base is pretty – they rock that place.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What was the toughest decision that you had to make? I'm assuming it would probably be after college.
Yeah. Yeah, I think understanding when it's time to move on. I think having that conversation with my agent was a weird feeling that I had to like come to terms with. Not that I didn't already come to terms with it, but like when you get that final like, all right, it's probably time. Like that was a weird feeling that
Absolutely.
you have to push through.
So how like who did you go to when you're trying to deal with that?
Honestly, like my family is so amazing, and I don't take that for granted. I don't take any of that, and you have to, as any athlete, I would say that's a big thing to get out there is like be around good people, and like you're gonna need a lot of support for it because it's a tough time, man. Like it's tough.
100%. Yeah. Probably another tough time for you is when you ended up committing to NC State. When you wanted to go to Carolina your whole life.
Exactly.
How did that come to be?
Honestly, like me and one of my best friends, Dimitri, we would go to Carolina camps. We probably went to like 10, like something crazy, something like that. And he had the offer at the time. I didn't. And I remember just texting with Gunnar Brewer at the time. He was the receivers coach there. And I was like, if you offer me, I'm going to commit right away. Like, he just never offered me.
It just says red.
He just like, yeah, and he sent me some like motivational quote. I'm like, I don't need that right now. Like, please offer me. And then actually, me and my dad took a visit to NC State, and this is like summertime of my junior year in high school, and Coach Dorn was like, "Hey, like you kind of like ready to commit?" And I was like, I'm 17. I was like, I'm not really ready. And my dad just comes in. He's like, "Yeah, like we're ready to commit." So he's like, committed from there. And honestly, like that was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life.
In hindsight, obviously, I'm sure you don't regret that at all. But so your dad is one of those. It's just like. No, I don't. No, he's ready.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Exactly.
I did not know that. Wow.
Insane, but that's the best. That's literally the best thing that's ever happened to me. Honestly.
What we just talked about, bro. Everything happens for a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah. Who's the most famous person in your contacts?
Most famous person in my contacts probably has to be Aiden Hutchinson. I think.
That's a really cool.
It's really cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
He's top 5. Top 5 defensive end?
Absolutely. He's just so consistent, man. He's like the heart of Detroit. They love him over there.
I feel like every single play, he doesn't always get the sack, but he's always in the backfield.
Just always just making some kind of
It's got to be so damn annoying to play. He
absolutely.
doesn't know yeah, I mean, going back to college, what's one piece of advice that you would give, any college football player right now, being a guy that did it for 5 years?
Yeah, I would say, man, when I came in, like, when you get that opportunity, it's not forever, and I just didn't care about anything else. Like, it's not about social media. It's not about they have NIL now. Like, even all that stuff. Like, it's all gonna come if you put in the work, and you have to love football. You have to. Like, it's nothing else matters at all. Like me and shout out there. Like, we used to be in the facility 20 hours a day, like literally sleeping in there. It's like. This is all we wanted, and you have to understand that as an athlete, there's nothing more that's going to help you other than being good at your sport.
Absolutely. That's one of those things that, like, even athletes, I'm sure, hear that all the time, but it doesn't really stick with you for some people until it's over with.
Exactly.
Like, dang.
Exactly. That's, like, what I'm thankful for is, like, I can't say I, like, have a regret of, like, effort. Maybe I could have done things differently if I had better, like knowledge of it, but – from effort-wise, I put in as much effort as I possibly could.
That's the best feeling,
yeah.
You mentioned NIL. I've heard, like, I personally believe that Nick Saban did, in fact, stop coaching, partly because of, like, the transfer portal and NIL and all that. Do you think, maybe not so, like, the integrity of the game, but, like, the love and passion for the game is kind of not what it used to be?
Absolutely, and respectfully, obviously, because it's tough because when you know people and stuff like that. I'm not saying it, but it's tough to sometimes watch teams because this guy was just on Oregon and now he's in Texas, and like it's Texas football in quotation marks, but it's like these guys have been all over the place. And I think what made college football so beautiful is because this guy that maybe sat out for 3 years, right, and finally got his turn like 4th year, and like he's been homegrown. We kind of seen him on special teams. Like, now you love this guy. You know what I mean? Like, so.
I could totally see that. But I don't know if I have a place to speak because I'm a huge NC State basketball fan, and our whole team is a bunch of transfers.
Exactly,
so
no matter what, you
take
want
it with a grain of salt.
your team to win, no matter what. It doesn't matter who's on the team.
Yeah.
So,
but dude, the one thing, Texas A&M. You mentioned Texas. Texas A&M. I feel like has been buying their players for so long, way before the NIL thing. But
absolutely,
that's a different topic. You were saying that you don't have any regrets as far as like the effort you put in and like your passion for the game. But if you did have a regret about maybe a non-effort related thing, what would that be?
I think just understanding, like, a weird thing that went through my head was like, and shout out there again. I've always talked to him. He's a great role model for
Sounds like the guy.
Yeah, athlete that wants to. He understood early that like to be in the league and to be able to like really get an opportunity, you have to be fast and you have to hit certain numbers. And it matters how you play, but you have to hit certain marks. And for me, I always thought like, I'm gonna be the best football player. I'm gonna be able to catch as many balls as I possibly can, and I'm gonna like just be able to cruise. So I think going back on it, I think I wish I took the little small like nuances of the game, maybe speed and
Are you talking about like doing more speed training or just like being more cognizant of it?
Being more cognizant and doing maybe more on the side because everything we did was like outside of the building, like because you already get like a base training, which is not enough to be in NFL or whatever. Like, so I think outside of that, I would have spent instead of like catching so many balls, like using it on speed or vertical or whatever the case may be.
100%. You know what's been the hardest reality to kind of swallow these last few years? You've had a lot of things in your life have changed definitely in the last few years. Like, you know, what do you think that has been?
Yeah, just I think obviously coming to terms with the ending of football and just understanding like life keeps going forward, even though
100%.
maybe you're going through some times. Like everybody else is kind of still going. So just understanding that and understanding that there's gonna be good in anything that you do. So don't be scared to try something new.
Sure.
You know?
And so I mean, just before this, we were talking about we're both men of faith. Like how did you allow your faith to kind of carry you through all the uncertainty?
I think it's still carrying me through. You know, like
100%, yeah.
because there's so many different things that remind you of this thing that you love. And I like to think of it as like a relationship. Like if you had a relationship with somebody for 15 years and then it stops like 1 second, like of course you're going to be sad. So it's like the same thing. Like if I played football for so long, I played sports for so long, it ends like it's going to be a long thing that you have to have faith for and just understand that there's always like a purpose behind it.
100%, dude. Yeah. That's, I mean, once you can kind of get that in your head, life just doesn't get easier, but it becomes to the point where you get to see like the blessing behind everything, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you know, people always talk about the glamorized side of football, right? Like the big contracts, getting drafted, this and that, but not many people ever come out here and they talk about like bouncing around teams or trying to find a home or like finding a city that you're comfortable in. Like, what has been the biggest learning point for you as someone who, you know, just like anyone goes through all that, but like this was very fresh to you? You know,
I think it's like two things, and they're kind of some funny stories. The first one's not funny, but
all right.
when I first came in, like to state, I was exhausted because it's like very fast paced, like everything when you come in, and it went from summer workouts to fall camp, which was like gruesome back then. Like 30 days straight of like football and the heat was very tough, and then like you had to realize that the reward was the season. So like when I came out that first game and I luckily was like on the 2 deep as a freshman, like the stands were packed out. I was like, oh, this is why we like struggled so much because there's so many people that care about this, you know?
Yeah.
So I had to like put that in the back of my mind, like, okay, this is what I'm like working towards. That was the first thing. And the second thing, I really almost got kicked out of NC State because I've never told anybody this. So yeah, it's a funny story.
Go for it.
Yeah. So this is my first senior season, and this is the COVID season.
Yes.
And so the first thing that happens was like we're kind of rotating receivers, and I felt like I didn't need to be rotated. Like I felt like I was.
I mean, dude, at that point you were already established.
Yeah, I was established receiver, so I was like, okay, like I went in. I remember I talked to Coach Dorn. I was like, hey, like I don't think I should be rotating, whatever. And I remember my receivers coach was like, hey, like if you have any problems, like talk to me, right? So that was like kind of like the first like strike. He was like, just kind of talk to me. And then I missed a block against Duke that year, and I still had like a really good game. Had like 90 yards.
Oh, that was the ammunition.
And then I missed the block, and my coach like benched me, so he put me like on second string, right?
In practice or mid game?
No. He benched me when we came back. So like we got done with the game, and we're watching film. I missed the block. I didn't think anything of it. Like we kind of just like.
He's kind of just like, yeah, I had a solid game. Yeah.
We get to walk through. He's like, no, EMEKA, like you're in the twos. I was like, nah, I'm not. Like,
Yo,
and you know, an athlete, like you're so competitive. Like I'm like already on edge. Like it's COVID season. Like, you know, everything. And yeah, I'm like, no, like I'm not doing that. Like I worked so hard to get to this point.
Exactly.
So we get out to practice, and I was like, okay, I'm not practicing. And I was like, I just didn't practice that day. I was like,
you said you're not practicing?
I told him I'm not practicing. I didn't practice. So yeah, we have like a whole meeting the next day. Me and the
EMEKA meeting.
Yeah, literally. The receivers coach is like, you do it again, like you're gonna get kicked out the team. So I had to swallow my pride, and I played like 19 snaps against Chapel Hill.
Oh man, this was before the Chapel Hill game.
This is before not the like big Chapel Hill game, but like the.
I know, I remember.
Yeah, the 2020.
I mean, either
Chapel
way,
Hill
it's
game.
before a rival game, so that's
which is crazy. I ended up playing. I didn't think I was gonna play, but he played me, and I actually scored that game. One of the games, he just like threw me in there because I'm not playing, but like he kind of just like throw me in randomly. And yeah,
wow.
So that's the story.
That's honest, bro. Thank God he didn't get kicked off because the NC State and Chapel Hill fans know we weren't winning that game in 2021 without Mech. Right. So
it's a crazy game.
That's nuts. Mm-hmm. Wow, I did not. I was like looking for like a short answer. You
Take
me through a whole journey. I love it. One last thing. Mm-hmm. Who is one teammate that you think has been the biggest blessing in your life, or you're the most grateful for?
Mm-hmm. I would say probably I would think a lot Thayer and Kelvin and Jacoby. Those guys, they paved the way, and I had to like follow them around and understand how to like be good at football and work hard. But 100%. I would say like number one, whenever I think NC State football, I think about Devin Leary, and like he was like the heart of the team. You know what I mean? And like
as the quarterback, kind of should be, yeah.
Exactly, and it's like. I have so much the utmost most respect for him because of what his injury he went through and everything he went through to be able to give back to us. Like, and then he also just changed like my memories forever, like my experience. And
absolutely.
Those games you talk about, like it came from Devin. Like, so it's like I'm always like grateful for Devin.
I like that. I feel like it almost wouldn't make sense for a receiver not to be grateful for his quarterback, especially if they succeeded very well with him. So that's why, like, I don't know if you remember when Antonio Brown, they asked him about Big Ben, and he used to say, he would be like, yeah, I love him, and then he just, like, acted like he didn't exist. It's like, bro, he threw, like, 1,700 yards to you in a season, I mean, that makes sense. I like that. I feel like Devin's a good dude.
Great dude. Great man.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I got to know Mech very well through this short period. I hope that you guys did too, but one last thing. We did this with Josh Downs, and we're going to do it with you. A little bit of trivia.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right? Okay. Rapid fire trivia. The way this works is you will have 3 seconds to answer each question. You got 5 questions. The bar is set high. Josh went 5 for 5.
Oh, 3 seconds, dang.
Your first career touchdown was against what school?
Wake Forest.
Correct. 1 for 1. Your most receiving yards in a season was roughly?
800.
Correct. 2 for 2. What teammate of yours played quarterback and wide receiver?
Oh, wow. Bears, technically?
No.
Oh, no. Jacoby.
Yes. I was like, wait.
Yeah.
We'll give it to you. You recovered. You recovered. It took a second. It's been a minute. Your career record against UNC is what?
I think 3-2. I think I had the one up.
Correct.
Yeah.
It is 3-2. You started getting nervous there. And lastly, to complete the kind of perfect result, what ACC opponent were you 0-2 against?
Oh, wow. That's a good question.
I'll give you 10 seconds for this because you got to really go in the vault here.
Who we never beat? Oh, Miami.
Yeah.
We beat Miami.
Correct.
Yeah, I never beat Miami.
How does that flash? So, like, do you, like, remember those games? And you're like, damn, I wish we beat them once, or you just know?
I think with Miami, at least, I just remember we played them in COVID. Like, they're not a team that was scheduled on our side. So it's like one of those, like, other side teams, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, yeah, just kind of like all flashes real quick to me.
Yeah, I like that. All right. Technically, you went 5 for 5.
Technically,
but
like 4.5.
You know, you and Thayer are just such good friends that you accidentally said it.
Yeah.
Just say that. Heck yeah, man. I really enjoyed this. I appreciate you coming out here and
I appreciate
coming on the channel.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm having a good time doing this Inside and Out series, so I'm probably going to continue it. But I do have something in the works that Mek might be helping out with. A fun idea that well, we'll see. We'll see if it comes to fruition. But until then, appreciate y'all for tuning in, and have a great day. Peace.
Yeah. Thank you.